and I'm so excited. All right. I picked my background today for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that I think it is the image that I have that most closely resembles the Vixen's hideout in my imagination, except obviously
The
hers would be a lot
foxhole.
darker and with fewer robots. But anyway, I mentioned the big bank of computers with all of the lights, and it's totally there. Right there.
There you go.
And the other reason I picked this one is because for some reason Teams does not want me to use the app, and so I couldn't choose my own. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just a little bitter.
Teams. Ugh.
But anyway, we might as well jump right in because we kind of left on a cliffhangery sort of a note. If I recall correctly, most of the episode was spent trying to find information. You tracked down Cygnus, and not only did you find him, but you found him when he wasn't even in costume. And so it was fairly easy to subdue and interrogate him. And you got the information you wanted, but as you were releasing him, with a bug planted on his shoulder, the monstrosity was somehow sedated by person or persons yet unknown, and it was surprising given his monstrous physique that somebody was able to do that, but they did. And not knowing who else to turn to, Vixen looked at the first person who's appeared on his phone contact list, which was his ex-wife, not knowing that, at least perhaps not knowing all of the details about their last parting, which was in which it was said in no uncertain terms she did not want to be involved in any of this superhero nonsense. And
If I remember correctly, she was 9 of his 11 past recent calls.
Clearly, he doesn't call anyone very often.
He doesn't have a very wide circle of friends.
Yeah, that's right. So, of course, as they're at the place, she treats him to make sure that he doesn't die. And it turns out that he is just knocked unconscious. But she also calls the police. And so as they're about to leave, a police cruiser shows up. Having underestimated the accuracy of the call that was placed, they had only sent out one cruiser. But anyway, making their escape, they sailed off in their van. Oh, no, wait, the van got, I don't know, you'd say totaled if it was covered by insurance, but there's definitely no insurance covering your van. Martin's going to be mad. But anyway, you managed to make off on foot, leaving the van and its important things aside. But more importantly, not being caught yourselves. You regrouped again at the Vixen's lair when it was time to eavesdrop on the meeting between Cygnus and the unknown person he was meeting. I don't know if I ended up giving you a name of the person who was meeting.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, I
We
think
will leave the
Mr.
person
Woods
named,
was referred to.
The nameless person seemed to know more about what was going on.
We did get a name. I have it written down somewhere, but
okay.
I'm looking through my notes too.
Yeah, like Cygnus kind of dropped a name accidentally when we were listening in.
Yeah, you're right. And that might be on the case clock.
Eric Lindstrom.
That's correct.
Yes.
Right in that second. You discover that it was Eric Lindstrom. You don't know the name, but I'm sure that searching, doing some research on this character will turn something up. I have so many little clocks and checklists here, and so many of them are almost full. your lives are so complicated. So we start our comic with a big half-page panel that shows the Monstrosity and Vixen sitting in this dark room with their faces lit by the screen, or actually they're not looking at a screen, but faces lit by the sine wave of the voice as it's speaking and being interpreted as sound waves on the computer. Martin, of course, is there, but off to the side in his wheelchair, staring as you are both listening intently, and we hear squeak pop as the transmission is ended, and you've been invited to the residence of Harrison Woods, who is a local mayoral candidate whose name has just cropped up a few too many times in your pursuit of justice in Crime Alley. There you are, sitting in the dark together. What do you do?
Did we get a time, like a time to meet him at his place?
I don't recall, and I'm going to say no. It just
No.
said, you're welcome to
Anytime.
come and meet the man himself.
And they also dropped that they have Carmela, right? They have the Monstrosity's ex-wife.
They don't have her, but she is
No.
like she's marked essentially. A few things have been set in motion. Carmela is under watch, and we're expected to attend.
Okay.
What do you do?
It's a trap.
What do you
Obviously,
mean?
it's a trap, but what other choice do we have?
Be smarter than Harrison Woods.
And Martin kind of wheels forward a little bit and say, what do you guys know about Harrison Woods?
We know that he is a upcoming hot mayoral candidate in Halcyon City. And we know that he's got some ideas for some reform as far as superhero or
He wants
super
every
characters.
super in this city either under his thumb or out of the picture.
Yeah, that's what he wants. At least from what we've seen. And he's already put things in motion to make it that way. There's that weaponry that heard it coming out for supers.
Yeah, speaking of which, I had a good look at it. So I don't know if it has a name, but I come up with a pretty good name for it. I call it the Nullifier. It has a couple of settings. One of it is gel rounds, which just like you point it at, he kind of grabs this gun that he had and he points it at the monstrosity. You point it at a guy like Monstrosity and he pretends to pull the trigger and it shoots these big expanding gel rounds that'll, they can't totally immobilize him, they'll at least slow him down. The other one, it seems to be some kind of a tranquilizer or something. I didn't recognize the chemical signature. It's not really my forte. And then there's a third setting. I'm not exactly sure what it does. There's some kind of energy projection. Again, not my area of expertise, but I'm guessing given the context where it was used, it's something that's going to be going to make your lives difficult if you encounter any mundanes out there while you're superheroing.
Oh, good. That's what our lives needed more of, is difficult.
Okay. Is there, I guess, can we do like an assess the situation or even a straight up creep in on Harrison Woods's pad before we decide to actually go scope it out?
So you want to like to straight up creep, you kind of need to be on location, but you
Be
could do
there,
some
yeah.
research ahead of time if that's
Yeah, let's do that.
okay. What do you do? So Vixen sets herself down at the computer. What are you starting to search?
We've got this address. I can take a look, do a little bit of a satellite imagery kind of thing, at least of the place, get a bit of a ground view of it. See what our options are for getting in, getting out, and potentially, yeah.
All right, you are going to roll plus superior. And you can ask one question ahead of time from the list before you roll.
Monstrosity is like going to be like sulking in the background because he does not have the patience for this research. He wants to head down there and crack a few skulls, just for the record. So he's kind of like sulking in the corner.
Nice.
Okay. How secure is this address?
Good question. Really good question. Presently, at least, so you're looking at like satellite images. Let's say that because of the situation you're in, and you've got this brother who's got these cool gadgets and stuff, you can get like real-time imagery, and in real time you see, actually not real time, but you kind of at the moment you see like a SWAT shaped kind of vehicle, right? You recognize the style of van.
Is it my van?
Actually, no, I have a funny story about your van. But anyway, your images show this SWAT thing, and so you can go back in the archives of the satellite footage, and you can see like, yeah, when you back it up, you see, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 SWAT fully geared up SWAT team members. They exit the vehicle. They're not running or anything like that because there's no emergent situation, but they kind of check their gear, they load everything up, they walk into the building. You do not see them after they enter the building. What you do see is some kind of plainclothes guards that are walking around the premises, and you see this is a mansion, right? This guy is well-to-do. There's totally a helipad with like a millionaire playboy's helicopter parked on it already. There is a row, under an awning, there's a row of you see the bumpers of a whole bunch of fancy cars. Not enough detail to get the make and model of each one, but just enough to say, okay, this guy's got a few nice toys. The building itself it's hard to get a read on it from up above because anyway, it's multi-tiered, right? So you can't really see like where's the upper level, where's the lower level, where all the entrances. You do get this important information. There's some security, and in fact, it's been upped fairly recently. Oh, I answered that question before you rolled.
Yep.
So that's for 3, but roll. because there's other stuff that I'm not going to tell you unless you earn it.
Sounds good. I got a 9.
Okay, 9. You get
Do you
your
want to toss in the teams, Jeff?
What?
Do you want to add a teams?
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
added 1. You've got 4 in here, so this is the best time.
Yeah, I think now's a good time.
Let's do it.
You back it up, and there's this one weird moment in the past 24 hours where the helicopter is gone, and then it's there, and then it's gone. It's there, and it's gone, and then it's there again. But you don't see it take off. So yeah, you kind of like you back up to that section, and it turns out that the ground kind of opens up and then closes. There opens up, the helicopter goes down, super swanky, and then it closes up over top, and then there's this weird distortion in the footage where it just like so it takes you some time to peel it together, but you do get an image of somebody you are familiar with that makes your blood run cold.
Wow.
I don't have a picture, but I do need one. So when you guys are busy doing stuff, I'm going to look up one, maybe at our next break. But it is a super. The
Not
super's
somebody
name.
we've met before.
It is not somebody you've met before. It is actually somebody who's established, somebody who a very famous super. Has apparently been in retirement for some years, not because of injury or anything, kind of like went out on top. Right? This guy's name is Apex. And he's like a retired Superman, right? He has like your Superman style powers that are well documented and publicized, right? Flight, super strength, tougher than bullets, and so yeah, this guy appears, and like again, there's this weird distortion, but you catch a couple of frames where it's just like, and you recognize at least the suit, and like he's got his what color hair should he have? Let's say he has like steel gray hair, and it's not because he's old. Just like that's his persona. He's got this gray hair going on. Yeah, and so you get a couple of things. You see him kind of like looking, and then the feed is distorted again.
Okay. I almost want to try to plan what our exit is gonna be before we even get in there. At least
you've done some research. You could go and creep out the place if you want. Okay. You mentioned doing that.
All right. Yeah. Gear up. Go. Martin's gonna drive us in his
Yeah, let's do this.
While Vixen is doing all this research stuff and the monstrosity is kind of off to the side there, Martin wheels up, says, "Hey, I heard about what happened at, I don't know, it's kind of awkward to say it, but your place, your old place, your wife's place, I imagine it's hers now. Sounded rough."
Look, I appreciate it, Martin, but just don't.
He looks away for a minute, and he's arguing with himself, and he looks back and he says, "Look, you're going in there with somebody who's really important to me, and I just need to know if you're okay. Are you able to handle this right now?" And he looks at you in the face, and it's so hard for people to look you in the face, so it's kind of like weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And I think in that moment he has to be completely honest, and he just like looks Martin in the eye with his enormous yellow eyes, and he says, "No, Martin, I'm pretty far from okay."
You got to look out for her. Okay?
All right, I can do that much.
He looks over his shoulder and he says, if things go south, you're going to have to be the one to pull the plug. Grab her and get out of there.
I can do that.
Yeah, I know she's kind of stingy about her stuff. He pulls open a little container beside, and he hands you over a couple of smoke bombs. Says, an old ninja trick, right?
Sick.
He takes like a couple of them and like clinks them together in his clawed hands, and a big toothy smile crosses his face. It's like, fun little toys.
Don't use your teeth. Just it shows you how to pull a pin and tells you how many seconds you have to throw them and that kind of stuff. But remember, This is your escape strategy, so make sure you know where you're going before you pull the pin, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like she's ready. And then Vixen walks up.
All right. Checked out the place. It is huge. It's got to be a bunch of ways in and out of that place. I think we got to scope it out.
Don't suppose you know how to fly a helicopter, do you?
I was actually kind of saying, I think I'd like to.
100%. You totally know how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
You don't have a helicopter, though. And in fact, you don't have a fully equipped battle van.
No. So how do we get there? This place is like, it's a ways away, yeah.
If we were able to get close enough to that helicopter, do you think you could jack it?
It's been a long time since I flew a bird like that. It'd be awesome. That's the exit I'm counting on.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay. Well, we could probably get Martin to drop us off in the neighborhood somewhere, a few blocks away. Whatever, if there's a grocery store. Probably not a school, because it's not Halloween. But let's get dropped off somewhere close by. I'd like to scope it out a little bit before we actually. What, are we gonna knock on the front door? Yeah, I guess we're gonna knock on the front door.
So you go up to Martin and ask him to drop you off, and he gives you one of these. I would love to drop you off. I've got a sedan. What do you want me to do? He looks over the monstrosity. I mean, I love the guy. Big and purple, and he doesn't fit. I mean, we could unroll the windows. It's not going to be a comfy ride. You could probably do it, but people might notice.
We can take my bike, but you might have to straddle my tail.
Isn't your bike still at the Foxhole?
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Martin nods and puts up his head. He's like, he likes that idea a lot. Doesn't mean he's right. All right, so you've got a plan to get there. You're going to ride the Monstrosity's bike and go creep the place out.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
I just want to share a picture of Apex. I found a really good one. So let me share my screen here. I'll open it up. I do not claim any ownership of this thing. I just think it's awesome.
What did you search?
Convenient. I literally searched superhero art, and it was the first thing that popped up.
Sick.
Nice.
So, screen share. Do you see it?
Coming up.
Nice.
Dope.
I was like, he's even got gray hair.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
That is slick,
anyway,
yeah.
That one is canon now. And like this guy is.
He's got the mountain on him now. That's cool. That worked out freaking well. Star at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. It's destiny. It's destiny.
nice.
All right, so you make your way out there. I want you to do some kind of a test to like sneak in there, kind of a thing.
Yeah, what do you think? Do we knock on the front door or do we sneak right in? You can stop sharing your
If
screen
you're
as you were.
scoping the place out and you don't want to be detected, which I imagine you don't want to.
I mean,
True,
we have
yeah.
an official invitation. I think we make it easy for ourselves getting in. I think getting out is where we're going to have to make it hard for ourselves.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, cool. We'll scope the place out discreetly first, and then.
All right.
Right up.
How describe how you approach the building in order to straight up creep it.
What's the neighborhood around it like?
Yeah.
It's a subdivision of very opulent houses. I mean, they're basically acreages. Each one has kind of a long driveway, and so there's no like house next door that you could climb up onto and jump onto this one. That doesn't exist. There are a few outbuildings on the location. So there's the awning that has all of the fancy vehicles. I would say there's probably an indoor garage, like a few car garage. There's a main building, and then there's probably like maybe there's a pool house. Yeah, for sure this guy has a pool. There's a pool house and and a couple of other wings to the place. So I don't have a really specific picture in mind, but big mansion. The neighborhood is all big mansions.
Can I use a drone?
Do you have anything on your space right now?
It was just the recon stuff for Haven Mall.
That's already been destroyed. So absolutely you have a drone.
Yeah.
And you're going to do your creeping through this drone?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to, that answers the question then of what move you're making. You are making your gadgeteer move, and you're going to roll plus mundane. Roll for drone skills.
Sick. 11.
Yeah, man, you guys have been rolling so well that this has actually been a cakewalk. Relatively. I mean, you've been in some tight spots before.
Yeah. You can stop sharing your screen, Andrew. We've just got
Oh,
multiple views of ourselves.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
A little awkward staring at my frozen face like that.
Sorry about that. All right, so you are rolling to straight up creep. You just rolled. It's funny because you rolled for mundane in place of mundane.
Yeah.
But you get intel. Jeffrey, could you mark, Monstrosity, could you mark one more intel? And you get 3
Yes,
questions.
I can.
You can ask them all now, or you can hold on to them for later.
I took the liberty of marking an intel when we did our research as well, because it says it on the move description.
Perfect. So Jeff, would you mark, Monstrosity. Dante, would you mark that one down?
I think I can tell right now. So, cool.
All right. So, any questions? There's 3
Straight
casing
up.
questions, 5 investigation questions.
Straight up creeping.
So we have what, 2
Um,
intel now?
Definitely
4.
2 this session.
2 from, I think we had
Plus
2
one,
left
yeah.
over from last, no, hold on. We left last game off with 1, and we've gotten 2 so far this game, so we should be at 3.
That's not a bad bonus for the final thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do. Hold 3, yeah?
That's the number of questions you get asked.
Okay. Let's go. Who or what is my biggest threat? We changed it to obstacle, didn't we?
Yeah, biggest obstacle.
Right.
What is your goal here? Is that what the obstacle is?
Oh. Yeah, so I guess with this drone, what I'm trying to do is just get a close-up look. Like, I'm going to get it onto the ground and just get a close-up look of, like, you know, what kind of security the place has and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so you're just looking at it in terms of the security thing. You're just going to get more detail about the security of it.
Yeah.
Because you asked, like, how secure is it? And it's fairly secure, right? There's a lot of additional bodies in terms of security. Biggest obstacle here, I mean, there is, like...
Is there, like, an electric fence perimeter? Is there, like, guards with guns? And are they the same guns that we've kind of seen?
So you, like I said before, there are those plainclothes kind of security personnel that are kind of hovering around. We know about the SWAT-esque team. It's not labeled as SWAT now that you see the band, but obviously highly trained people from what you saw earlier. You know about Apex being there. Certainly he would be the biggest combative obstacle. And I think for your role, you also notice a lot of closed circuit television, CCTV security, and I mean it's everywhere. You see it monitoring the driveway, but there's not an electric fence, but there is a stone fence around most of the property, and it doesn't go all the way into the forest. Like in the bush, it's mostly decorative, but in the bush you get some chain link kind of barbed wire situation. But yeah, there's stone and chain link fence all the way around, and every so often you do get one of these cameras that's pointing not out, but inward toward the property. Do you wish to ask another question?
So part of Vixen's thing is she's always looking for, like, incriminating stuff, right? She scopes out, you know, politicians to figure out what are they hiding, kind of thing. So I'd like to ask something.
What he's worth grabbing, like in terms of like dirt on Harrison Woods.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that question in that light, but yeah. But we have no leverage at this point, right?
Yeah, you do.
None.
Now you know you both have the sense that he's dirty, and most of that is based on something that the Monstrosity saw. previously, where he was seen by the Monstrosity in person, which is interesting, paying off a cop, a dirty cop in Crime Alley. I don't recall the exact situation. I think it was just to get the cop to turn the other way while something was happening. So you have that sense about things. You don't have any hard evidence that he has done anything criminal. And so having something like that would be really useful. What kind of things could we collect to point out that this man is in fact a criminal?
I mean, we got Cygnus put his name connected to Dream Tiger kidnapping people. I don't know if we could rely on Cygnus to testify against him or anything.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
We also know a couple of the kidnappees. I guess they could testify about their experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people that you released from the Dream Tigers.
That we saved from Dream Tiger, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if that stops at Dream Tiger though. I don't know if how to connect it that one step
he could
further.
be sent up the river.
Well, we know that Cygnus said that he was working with him because Dream Tiger had his family. So like Dream Tiger and Harrison Woods, like Cygnus knows there's a connection there.
I see.
Mm-hmm. And so that might be the answer to your question, is like something that ties Harrison Woods directly to Dream Tiger, because you have enough people, hopefully they haven't been apprehended or gone to ground, kind of a thing, gone to hiding. Hopefully you have enough people who can testify about being kidnapped and held captive by Dream Tiger. And if you had found something that connected Dream Tiger to Harrison Woods, that would be something concrete. Now, I don't know that your drone can tell you that conclusively there is that stuff in there.
Fair enough.
Okay. You know, for example, that you had some kind of a deal with if you were able to spot Dream Tiger on the premises or something like that. You also know there's something weird about the footprint of this place, right? Like you had trouble with the surveillance that you were getting from an independent satellite. So yeah, locating Dream Tiger on the premises would probably be a good step in the right direction, drawing some kind of connection. I just want to make sure I did a fair job of answering it. So what here is worth grabbing? Yeah. I think so anything connecting him to corruption in the police or Dream Tiger would be, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how many files he's going to keep of that kind of action, right?
Right. I don't know if you'd have an answer for what do I notice despite an effort to conceal it.
Yeah. So some things are certainly not concealed. There's no concealment of the security personnel. You already saw some of the additional things. I'm going to say that out back around the helipad that you were observing earlier, the helicopter's there still. Your drone starts to take on a bit of interference, but your drone is hardened. Like most stuff like that would just take the interference and drop, right? It just would stop taking commands from your device and would be taken over from something else. But yours is hardened, so it's able to take this on. It's grainy and stuff like that, but you do end up seeing kind of the makings of a hidden entranceway, right? So there's like a path from the helipad to a nice glass windowed lobby type area, but then off to the side and covered by some bush, there is you just see the edge of a cement, kind of like some kind of cement structure, and a dark orange door, again partially covered, and then eventually you have to pull the drone out of there because even hardened, you're starting to lose control of it.
Cool. So I think we're talking about this as we're seeing things, right? And I'm telling Monstrosity about this, just like, oh, check out this path. You know, there's this cement structure with this orange door just off to this side from that atrium, or that lobby, that glass windowed atrium. And something tells me that that's going to become important, whether there's some skeletons hiding in that closet, or that's, you know, our way out, or potentially where he's going to try to keep us. Who knows what we're in for, right?
Possibilities are endless.
All right.
I'm going to get this guy out of here. I know you're getting antsy, so let's put on our manners.
All right, we'll try and do things your way, but if things go south, we're doing my way.
Before we go in, I'm going to try to apologize about the setup that happened with Carmela. Full comfort or support.
Hey, say what you have to say.
I know you've been waiting for this, and I know you've got a lot riding on the line. And I'm sorry for the part that I had to play in setting it up, but I want you to know that we're going in here, we're going together, and we're gonna make this right. I'm gonna do my best to help you fix this, and yeah, and make sure Carmela stays safe.
Monstrosity looks down and he smiles, a big toothy smile, and says, I don't got a lot of friends, but I know I got good ones.
All right, roll. Roll
Elbow
plus
bump.
1
11.
Oh, wow. Clear all major stress or minor stress. Now, I don't think we have major and minor stress, but that means you can either clear all your stress or all of your conditions. I don't know if you have any conditions marked.
You still had one, Jeff.
I was hopeless from last last
so
session.
you can clear that hopeless.
I'm glad. Having friends helps me deal with my ex-wife woes.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's very intuitive.
You get a team
and you
as
got to
well?
add a team to the pool or clear 1 stress for yourself, Vixen.
I don't have any stress, so let's add a team to the pool.
Team for the pool. You have 4 teams in the pool going into this. You've rolled really well. Things are looking good. Knock on wood. What do you do?
Suit up and knock on the front door.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we hop on my bike and we ride to Harrison Woods Estates.
All right, you pull up to I'm not thinking a golden gate, but like a ornate wrought iron gate, one of those ones that's like on motors so that it opens and closes. And there's a uniformed security, a man in a black uniform at the little post out there, and he comes out, but he sees your masks and he radios something and he gets a response. He just gestures. He doesn't approach you at all. He just kind of gestures in, and the gate starts to open up.
As we drive by, I'm gonna look over and give this garden of Booth a smile and a little clawed wave.
He gives you one of these. And leans away from you.
I take his head and I go, focus.
All right, you drive up the long driveway. You could park your bike. There's like a set of stairs going in. You could park your bike at the bottom of the stairs. You could put it over in the awning with the fancy cars. And then you can enter the building.
Bottom of the stairs.
As we're getting off of the bike, I just kind of like put my hand on the bars and say, I'm a little worried I'm not going to see this thing again. My baby.
It'll be okay.
Don't tell him that.
No.
So you
Shut up,
climb
Magpie.
the
I lost my band.
long
Just kidding.
slate stairway up to the doors. As you're approaching the doors, they open before you even have a chance to knock. There's a butler in a tuxedo that opens the door and bows, inclines slightly, and gestures a gloved hand into the house, where you are met by a man coming down the stairs. This is the face that you have certainly seen on TV plenty of times. Harrison Wood. He says, "Ah, you've decided to come after all. I was wondering if you would. Please, come in." And I'm going to pause right there because I need a drink of water and a little brownie break, and we'll pick it up when we return.